Surprising news out of the NFL today when we see Zach Orr, only been in the league 3 years, retiring. Here's why.
Kind of forced to walk away from the game of football. I had an injury against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Christmas Day, and I had some neck pain the following day. So we decided to get an MRI done and found out I had a herniated disc in my neck, and which knocked me out of the last game of the season. So we decided to do more tests, and I got a CAT scan done, and the CAT scan revealed that I had a condition I was born with that less than 1% of the world has, and pretty much at the top of my C1, or top of my spine, I don't know the exact term of it, but it wasn't never formed completely, and that puts me at a real increased risk than anybody else, than already increased risk that we're already at, than anybody for fatality or being paralyzed, and pretty much disqualified me from playing collision sports, which obviously includes football. And it's really just a blessing that I've been able to play the game. I've been playing since I was 9 years old. It's been a blessing I've been able to play the game so long without any major injury.
First of all, Brian McFadden, when I just hear that, I want to cheer for the guy. I applaud the fact that his perspective on it, like how fortunate he looks at his career to have played this long, and then just discovering this condition, which he says is rare and obviously could lead to paralysis and or even worse in a collision sport like this. He was an undrafted free agent back in 2014, so he's 3 years in, set to get a big contract. The team wanted him to try to figure out if he could play, and he said, no, I'm walking away. I know we applaud and want people to be healthy, but are you surprised by this?
I'm surprised, but I also respect his decision to walk away. I mean, right now, Orr was considered their best interior linebacker. I mean, this is a guy, like you said, going forward in the future was going to see a nice, lucrative deal. So it was not about the money. No. It was not about the fame. It was not about the sport of football. It was more so about protecting his well-being. And that's a very, very serious thing. When you talk about the spine, that's very, very serious. So you don't want to have one play be your last play and can change the dynamics of your life going forward. So I applaud him being as strong as he's been throughout this process, because when you watch the Baltimore Ravens defense, I understand you talk about the usual suspects, the Suggs, Terrell Suggs, the Eric Weddles. But this is a guy, Orr, that has really emerged to be a big-time playmaker for this defense. And you factor in what this team has done, especially going forward. You anticipated seeing Orr as a mainstay with Mosley in the, like I said, in the inside linebacker core.
I remember, speaking of linebackers, a couple years ago, young Chris Borland out there in San Francisco decided to walk away from the game at a similar young age. Is this going to be something now that we see a couple trickling in that maybe another guy goes, maybe this isn't worth it?
This is a little different from Borland's situation. Of course, he was more concerned about the head trauma, right? Deserving so. Zach is more concerned, or he has an issue with his spine. Now they said that he could potentially come back.
Right.
But it's like rolling the dice.
Yeah, you can play.
Yeah.
But
it's
you
like
do have
rolling
this
the dice. And when you look at Chris Borland, if Chris Borland came back and he continued his professional career, there's a good chance he might have had another concussion. If Zach has sustained the right blow to the right position on his body, it's not just about being dazed for a few or dealing with headaches. It's about he could have been paralyzed.
Yeah, this is real life stuff that we're talking about here. If you've got questions for our two-time Super Bowl champ right here, use the hashtag #TheRally to weigh in whether you think we're going to see more and more football players and athletes in general saying goodbye to collision sports like football because of the risks associated with it.